and welcome back to Newfound Dreamer, where I help you create the life of your dreams. In today's video, we are going to talk about how personal development has changed my life. This video is one that has been on my mind since I started Newfound Dreamer. But I kept putting it off because I did not feel ready to share the details of my personal development journey on YouTube. And to be honest, I still don't feel ready. But I decided to stop putting it off and record it because the truth is I may never feel ready. And the point of this channel is to share my personal development journey and the tips and tools that I learn along the way. Everyone's personal development journey is different, and I believe that once you intentionally start a personal development journey, it is something that you continue for life. My journey has evolved so much since early 2018 when I first decided to be the change that I sought in my life. From the outside looking in, my life appeared to be perfect. I was engaged to the love of my life, who is now my husband. We have the sweetest, most loving dog. We own a beautiful home, and I had a great management level job. And that management level job that looked so good on paper was turning me into a person that I no longer recognized. When I first started working with the company, I was full of excitement and I was blissfully unaware of what I was getting myself into. I was getting to work in an industry that I love, in an industry that brings me so much joy. And that same industry sucked the joy out of my life. You may have heard the Jim Rohn quote that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Well, I was spending 40 plus hours a week at work, and that work environment was toxic. Don't get me wrong, many of the people that I had the pleasure to work with, I still love and respect. But that job had a negative impact on my life. I was becoming more negative, more pessimistic, more irritated, and more stressed. So stressed that I spent most of my time sick. I did not know that it was possible to have a head cold that lasted for months. No, I did not mean weeks. I had a head cold that lasted for 3 months, and during those 3 months, I had influenza twice. In hindsight, it was my body telling me to get the F out of there, but as you can imagine, I was also becoming a very stubborn person. There is one day that I will never forget. The day the chief operating officer of the company brought me to tears in front of other employees on my team and reduced me to someone that felt 2 inches tall. That was my breakthrough moment. That was my turning point. I was giving my all to my job, and that was the respect that I was shown in return. I knew I did not deserve to be treated that way. I knew I deserved better. I knew things had to change, and it is on that day that my personal development journey began. It is also important to note that on that day, I do not remember the exact date, but it was mid-February 2018, I made the decision that as of September 30th, 2018, the day after my wedding, my job search would begin. I will reveal the importance of this a little later. I began my personal development journey by rereading a book that my sister had given me the year prior for my birthday. That book was The Defining Decade, Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most of Them by Meg Jay. Shortly after I finished reading the book, I found meditation. It was through meditation that I learned to quiet my mind. I learned how to find calm and peace. I learned not to take the words of my manager personally, and I learned how to emotionally separate myself from my job. That job no longer defined who I was. I started to look at my time there as a learning experience. What have I learned and what can I learn that will serve me in my future career? As a side note, for most of my meditations, I use the Calm app. I have heard of other apps, but I have not tried them. I have been using Calm for almost 2 years now, and I love it. 8 months after my personal development journey began, on October 11th, 2018, I was laid off from that job. And on October 12th, I woke up stress-free. I felt relieved. I practically danced around my house, and for the first time in years, I finally felt free. The universe works in mysterious ways. Less than 2 weeks prior, I had fixed up my resume. Remember, I had promised myself that I would start looking for a new job as of September 30th. After my layoff, I decided to take a few days to rest and relax. I was provided with a good severance package, and I felt I deserved a few days off. The next week, I started applying to jobs. One job in particular stood out to me. A few weeks later, I started that job, and I am still working there today. I am working as a financial controller again. When I leave work in the evening, my work stays there, I have my weekends off, and for the most part, my job is stress-free. It is exactly what I have wanted, and I am confident that if I had not been laid off, I would still have the job that I have today. The universe delivered exactly what I had asked for, but the way that it was delivered looked a little different than I had envisioned. See, I thought I would apply for jobs, be offered a job, accept a new job, then provide my letter of resignation. But the universe had other plans. She did not want me spending any more time in a work environment that was not serving me. I have to admit, I handled being laid off better than most people, and I attribute that to the personal development work that I had done in the 8 months prior to my layoff. Sure, when it happened, I felt upset. I understood why I was being laid off, but I still felt hurt and a little sad. Thankfully, that sadness quickly passed, and by the next morning, I felt joy and relief. It was as if I finally broke free from the chains that were holding me back. Up until that point, my personal development journey revolved around learning my worth, defining who I was, and separating my feelings from my job. It was then that my personal development journey quickly started to evolve. Suddenly, reading, which was something I never really enjoyed, became fun. I fell in love with reading personal development books. I started learning about the law of attraction, I started learning about happiness and mindset, and I started wanting more for my life. I finally felt deserving and capable of living my dream life. And the seed of starting a YouTube channel was planted in my mind by the universe. I have been on my personal development journey for almost 2 years now. I am not the same person that I was when I started, and I continue to grow and evolve every day. And my favorite thing about personal development is that it grows and evolves with you. I felt drawn to start a YouTube channel. Not because I was comfortable being in front of a camera. No, I used to dislike being in front of a camera, and watching myself on video used to make me cringe. But despite all that, I felt drawn to starting a YouTube channel to share my journey. I am passionate about helping others live life on their own terms, and if I can help one person by sharing my journey, then it is all worth it. And honestly, I am having so much fun sharing the tips and the tools that I have learned along the way. Starting Newfound Dreamer has forced me to learn new skills, face my fears, and have faith. And my favorite part is interacting with you. The messages that I received on social media and the emails that I received mean the world to me. When I first started my personal development journey, I had no idea that it would lead to creating a YouTube channel. But I am so happy that it has. It has allowed me to find my passion. I'm currently working on becoming a coach, and in the meantime, I share new videos every Thursday with tips and tools that will help you create the life of your dreams. Now, enough about me. I want to hear from you. When did you first discover personal development? Let me know in the comments below. That is all for today. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss out on future videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to do one thing today that will bring you closer to living your dream life. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.